going on, everybody, and welcome to NRW Respawn Presents Locked On, the first episode of this new segment we're trying out. It's part of our rebranding of Respawn. This is kind of a new show where we're going to try and deep dive a bit into one, two, or more games that we're playing or currently interested in. As always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Mark Admana. To my left, I'm joined by the K-pop conquistador, Andrew Roa.
What's up?
And of course, behind the camera, as always, the DMV's next top freelancer, Derek Admana.
What's good?
I don't know if they can hear you because with these new mics, it's also part of the rebranding, but
What's good?
there you go. All right, guys. Well, let's hop right into it. This past week at PAX, no, not PAX. Yeah, it was PAX.
It was PAX.
Yeah, we got the brand new trailer for Borderlands 3, a game that I've been waiting for years now. So we had Borderlands 2 in 2012, and then the pre-sequel in 2014.
Just about.
But we don't talk about that. And then we had Tales from the Borderlands a little bit after that. But this has been a series that's been pretty quiet for a while now, other than, of course, Randy Pitchford leaving a USB of porn at medieval times, but let's not get into that right now. So here's a couple things we learned from the new trailer and the whole event itself. Randy Pitchford confirmed that while battle royales are cool, that is not what they're making, thank God.
Yes.
He also confirmed that unfortunately we will not be seeing Handsome Jack. He is in fact dead.
Yes.
But I'm sure.
Spoiler alert if you haven't played Tales and everything like that.
Yeah. Well, it's been 7 years since he died. That's long enough, I feel.
I guess so.
I'll throw up a spoiler bros thing for you guys. Anyway, moving on. In the new trailer, it did feature some of our new bad guys. They are now going by the Children of the Vault, headed by what could be a brother and sister. They could be lovers. Who knows? They could be both. It looks like they're both possibly sirens. They both kind of have the tattoos. The guy's is red, which we haven't actually seen a male siren in the series yet. Typically female sirens have the blue tattoos and markings. So if blue's for female, red could be for male, who knows. We do have a couple new enemy types as well. There's a T-Rex looking monster, and then a couple of Pacific Rim looking mech dudes that have the Maluan, which is a company in the Borderlands universe. They make guns and armor and your shields. Their armor is kind of decked out in that it's like orange, blue, white, and it's got like that hexagonal pattern going across it. Yeah, which could make a lot of sense because a lot of the private companies in Borderlands tend to have private militaries as well. So yeah, those are the new bad guys that we've seen so far in the trailer. We also got a look at all the new Vault Hunters. So far, none of the names have been confirmed, but from a leak, we do have Amara, who is the siren of this game. She seems to be more melee focused than Maya and Lilith were in the past, where they were kind of elemental and like crowd control type powers. Her special, it looks like, shows her summoning like 6 or 8 arms behind her, going like who's that demigod, Shiva?
Shiva, yeah.
Kind of looking like that. And then we have Mose, who is the bot jock. He can can summon kind of a Titan from Titanfall looking robot, and she hops in it, and then in the trailer actually it's seen that one of the other Vault Hunters is like riding on the mech's back, rocking a turret or a minigun, so it looks like you can co-op that as well.
Sweet.
Yeah, could be dope.
Yeah.
And then we have Zane, the operative, who is kind of your stealth option in this game. A lot like Zero, he can make like his duplicate and send out somebody to Apex style bamboozle their enemies. Cool. And then lastly, we have Flak, known as the Beastmaster. He calls in like these AI pets, let's call them. One of them's a skag from the series, a spider ant from the series as well, and this new wolf-like looking kind of Bullymong, but not as big as Bullymong, but also has a gun, so it's very confusing as to what's going on. But
animal.
He's an animal exactly. Guy. He's your animal guy, exactly. Okay. Some returning favorites. We do have Lilith from Borderlands 1, Brick, Mordecai. Those three guys are back from Borderlands 2. We have Tiny Tina, Zero, Maya, Sir Hammerlock, and his sister, actually, who was a DLC playable character in the pre-sequel. And then, of course, from every game, we have Marcus, Tannis, and Claptrap. And then we do have, from Tales from the Borderlands, what looks to be Reese standing behind, or standing in front of Zero, actually, surrounded by a bunch of Crimson Lance. And then in the same picture with Hammerlock and Aurelia, we have a guy that could be Vaughn. His hair's a bit goofier. He's got a beard this time. We don't know how long it's been since Tales pre-sequel Borderlands 2. So, but like everybody else basically kind of looks the same except for Tiny Tina, who's not that tiny anymore. Reese has a kind of creepy looking mustache, and
he kind of just looks a little more like Handsome Jack now.
A little bit, yes. He does, exactly. And then Vaughn, if it is Vaughn, he just looks completely different. It's a brand new character.
The desert will do that to you.
Yeah, it will do that. Speaking of the desert, we actually do have some new settings. We do see Pandora's faithful desert, of course. All that sand and shit is back. But we also do see glimpses of a new city-type area, as well as a swamp. So you're not just going to be running out into open areas anymore, which for Borderlands is kind of a big departure from what they're used to, but we'll see how that goes. So some things I do want to see from Borderlands 3 is for it to not be a shared world shooter, not exactly going the same route as like Destiny, Division, Anthem. Okay. Not entirely the same, but at the same time, I do want to see a hub world where you do see other people running around. Okay. But for the main focus of PvP. Yeah. So in the Borderlands franchise, there hasn't really been much PvP. You could go up to your teammates and melee them and start a duel. So I'd like to see that, but on a little bit bigger scale. So you walk up to somebody else randomly in the hub world, just melee them a couple times, and then it's like duel, and it creates a little bubble, and other people that are in the hub world can stand around and watch. If they're feeling frisky, they can jump in and join as well. You know, just something fun that would be very Borderlands style. Yeah. And like winners could earn like points to getting shift keys, which if you remember from the second game, were keys that unlocked the special chest that was in the hub world.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing if they added that. Didn't even really think about adding that PvP aspect, but with a hub world, I think that works out pretty well. Yeah,
exactly. Speaking of PvP, going into something a bit more mature and realistic in style, we are also talking about Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah. So we got Mortal Kombat 11 coming up as well. The release date for that is going to be April 23rd, 2019, and it's going to be coming out for Xbox One, PC, PS4, and the Nintendo Switch. So everybody's going to have the chance to play, in my opinion, the biggest fighting game that's coming out this year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you don't know too much about Mortal Kombat, I don't know if you've been alive for the last like few years, but you should. Just in case
20 years, man.
Yeah. Just in case you don't know, Mortal Kombat is developed by NetherRealm Studios, Quaylock and Shiver. NetherRealms had a previous game called Injustice 2. If you've heard of that game, good for you, because that's one of the best fighting games out right now. And they're continuing on with that similar style where it's not like Tekken where you're clicking buttons in a flow. It's more combo based and timing based. And one of the big things that they're doing, or that they have done in the Mortal Kombat and Injustice games, is a very unique way of telling a story. So the story mode for Mortal Kombat 11 is going to follow something similar to how Avengers Endgame is doing all these timeline jumps and stuff. Mortal Kombat's doing the same thing. So time travel is going to be involved, and that is being introduced with the new boss character, who isn't actually playable right now, but I'm sure later on she might be a DLC character. But that character's name is Kronika, and she's basically going to be manipulating the entire Mortal Kombat story, and this allows us to actually see the personalities of Johnny Cage, Sonya, Liu Kang, Kung Lao from Mortal Kombat's, the early Mortal Kombat's, and those characters can actually interact with their current versions from Mortal Kombat 11. I think it's going to be one of the craziest storylines ever, and it'll probably introduce a Liu Kang where he doesn't become corrupt. So I'm excited to see what happens with that. The story does take,
cool.
Yeah, like to have Liu Kang and Kung Lao not become evil. They actually even showed in a trailer the young versions of Liu Kang and Kung Lao versus their older versions, and they're just like, we will not become them. So we'll see what happens with that. It does take place after Mortal Kombat 10, so Shinnok has been kind of taken care of in a way, and Raiden is slowly being corrupted, and that's when Kronika is introduced. More story details will come, but that's all we can kind of say about the story right now. The character list has been released, and up to date we have Baraka, Cassie Cage, who is my main character. I just love the way that she's fast, and she's kind of a jack of all trades.
And related to Johnny Cage.
And related to Johnny Cage, and has that wit, but then also has that like leadership of Sonya, which is awesome. Aaron Black, Devora, Garrus, who is kind of the sidekick of Kronika. He's a new character being introduced for this game as well. Jackie Briggs, the daughter of Jax, and then obviously we'll have Jax as well. Jade, Johnny Cage, aka Jean Von Claire Dem. I can never say his name, but that guy's in it. Cabal, Kano, Kotal Khan, Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Noob Saibot, Raiden.
Noob's back.
Yeah, Noob Saibot. Old Sub-Zero who died comes back and becomes some type of like new ghost version of a ninja. That's not a proper term for them. I will change that later. Kung Lao. I think I already said that, but he's in there twice, I guess. Shang Tsung, who's going to be a DLC character.
Does he not look like the actor that played him in the movie?
He kind of does.
It looks exactly like the actor that played him in the movie. I was like, whoa, okay, that's cool.
I think he's going to be, it would be awesome if he was actually the voice actor.
They brought him back,
yeah.
That would be sick.
Funny that you bring that up. Actually, Ronda Rousey was the character model for Sonya Blade, who's also in this game as well. Scarlet, Sub-Zero, and Shao Kahn is a pre-order bonus. So if you want to just throw $5 down at GameStop, or you want to pre-order the entire game, I definitely recommend that, as Shao Kahn is one of the coolest characters and most badass final bosses that we've seen. The game modes that they have available right now are Conquer, which contains the story mode, the towers, and the crypt. If you're unfamiliar with the crypt, that's kind of where you unlock all your different costumes, or you unlock promos and concept arts and more things similar to collectible items. You can also get your fatalities and costumes from there as well. They also have Fight, which is basically the online mode versus tournament or AI battle, and Customize, which is something that they had in Mortal Kombat 10, where you had 3 different stances. So you can make Liu Kang either be a zoner, so he's just shooting fireballs the entire fight, or you have him in his Fire Fist stance, where he's up close and he's hitting you non-stop. They developed that a little bit more and added in Injustice 2's concept of different armors and equipment that you can have. And I think what they're allowing you to do now is you can create your own kind of class.
Oh, so, that's cool.
Yeah, so you can kind of like create your own or choose your own costume, choose your own kind of like different skills and abilities.
Create a character, or
no? So you'd use Scorpion. Let's say for example we have Scorpion, and he has multiple costumes. You can choose the costume you want, and then you can choose the stance that he fights in.
It's like fighting style. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then you can kind of go a little bit deeper in and choose different abilities and things like that to cater to your style, but also let you play as the character that you love as well. The gameplay is very similar to Mortal Kombat 10. They added new techniques, like you can't run block or run cancel anymore, which was very, very advantageous for characters in Mortal Kombat 10. They also have Fatal Blows returning, which is if you click L1 and R1 when you have the meter, you can do that super cool, realistic X-ray kind of combo that stops the combo, but then can add on to your combo as well. We'll be getting fatalities, which look amazing in this game. And when you pull off a fatality, it kind of does a stop screen instead of like just showing the body drop. So you kind of get a stop of the fatality, and it says like who wins right there, which is really, really cool when you see it live. We also have the return of environmental objects that you can interact with. So if you see a spear that's kind of just sticking out of the ground while you're fighting, if you click R1 or RB, depending on what you're playing on, you can pick it up, use it to extend a combo, maybe use it for distance. And they have multiple different types of environmental objects, like a spear. You have pots that you can throw. So if you don't if you don't have a character that has too many zoning moves, you can use the environment to kind of combat anyone who wants to zone too much. The combat is like Injustice and Mortal Kombat, so more combo based, not as input based as Tekken would be, and flow based, I guess you could say. And a new thing that I liked when I was playing Classic Towers is when you check your move list, it'll give you the frame rates, the distance, and what type of move it is. So you can kind of figure out how you can connect all your combos. And of course, one of the things that we got to do was look at and play a little of the private beta, which was held this weekend. The characters for that were Baraka, Jade, Cabal, Scorpion, and Scarlet. And we basically were playing Scorpion the whole time, and the modes that were available were online and classic mode, or classic towers. In my opinion, I think this is going to be the best fighting game since Injustice 2, because I was a huge Injustice 2 fan. And the characters that they're giving us can range from the entirety of Mortal Kombat because of this timeline jumping and convergence, I guess you can say, that's happening in the story. So I'm really excited to see the full list of characters that are going to be released, because obviously the list that I just said is only what we have up to date so far, and have been confirmed.
Right.
If you're interested in seeing any of those characters individually, there's multiple gameplay videos and in-depth walkthroughs of those characters, even if they haven't been in any of the betas. And I definitely recommend you to go watch those. And if you like that, go pre-order the game. If you pre-order from GameStop, you can get a Scorpion mask and a Mortal Kombat lunch tin. Yeah, it's first come, first served, but it's definitely something that enticed me to go out and pre-order it right away.
Gotcha.
So that's pretty much what we locked on to for this week.
I don't suck yet at Mortal Kombat, but of course it was a private beta. So once everybody else does get their hands on it, I'm sure I'll be just as bad as I usually am at fighting games. But yes, as you said, those are the games that we have locked on for this month, this episode. As usual, I'm Mark Admana, joined by Andrew Roa, Derek Admana behind the camera. If you like the show today, leave us a like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget, for everything NEW, keep it locked in to NRW. And until next time, we'll see you at Spawn.